Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and today's review, which has been released on a Friday. So as you will all know from watching this channel before, it is a current club, so a brand new model. However, if you're watching this probably about, I think in 6 months down the line, 7 months down the line, it won't be. Now the club we're talking about is this. It is the Titleist TSR2 fairway wood. I mean, feast your eyes on that. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Now, I picked this up, true for you guys. Number one, because it's a new club. Number two is I used to play the Titleist TSI2 fairway wood, so I really wanted to see if this is actually an improvement or if it's pretty much exactly the same, just looks, in my mind, a little bit more snazzier. And also to discuss the fact that, yes, this is a brand new club, but this was released at the end of 2022. So the end of 2024, this lineup, so the whole TSR lineup, is likely to be replaced. Now, what it's going to be replaced with, we do not know yet, but we'll probably start finding out sort of, I can imagine, sort of mid-autumn time, which means if you're watching this video back end of 2024, potentially this fairway wood could be an absolute steal, brand new, because of course they'll be reducing the prices to shift the old stock. So there you go. So that is why I picked it up today to have a look, and also because I'm looking for a 3-wood in the bag at the moment to replace sort of the 5-wood Stealth 2 that I was using over winter. And this is definitely an option for me because, like I said, I played the TSI2 before. I loved it. I loved the feel of it. And this, for me, just looks even better. So yes, potentially could be going in my bag. Now, as always, what we're going to do is we are going to have a closer look at the club. Then we're going to come back here for the go for the technology that's in the club. I was going to say ACS Golf Scale, but that is later. So come back here, talk about all the technology that's in here. Then we're going to get down the range, going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back here for the ACS Golf Scale. ACS Golf Scale, always at the end of the video. So we'll come back here for the ACS Golf Scale. I'll give you my overall thoughts about this club. And always, before we check this club out with a closer look, do remember to subscribe to the channel, guys. If you're new, or even if you're a returning viewer and you haven't done so yet, do hit that subscription button and the bell icon to make sure you do not miss out on any upcoming videos. All right. Now, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, a closer look at the club, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to say it straight away, I think this is the best looking fairway wood currently out on the market. We're really intrigued to see how they're going to improve the looks of this, if they even can, when we bring out the new models later this year. Now, just to say in the lineup, so you've got the TSR2 here, which is the sort of middle range club. So, you know, for your sort of wider spectrum of players. So got good forgiveness and good distance. Then you have your TSR3, which is for your better players with more workability. And then you have your TSR1, which is a larger profile to offer maximum forgiveness. Now, going into technology in this club, we'll read off Titleist's website. So first off, we have for high, far, and forgiving. So go low to get more. The Titleist TSR2 fairways features our lowest CG ever for speed and launch without creating excessive backspin. That's good. You know, when it comes down to your longer clubs, especially, you know, if you get too much backspin, so too much spin on the ball, goes up in the air, balloons, and doesn't go anywhere. You know, with your 3-wood, you want to get a little bit of rollout, maximize your distance, so you want it to be lower spinning, but not too lower spinning that you hit the green and it flies all the way off the back. So a new open hosel construction contributes to a powerful new sound and feel that makes a TSR2 an instant favorite for many players. So benefits: high consistent flight, exceptional forgiveness. We'll talk about that in the ACS Golf Scale later. Optimized speed, player preferred shape, sound, and feel. I definitely agree with that. It does look more player's shape there. It's not a huge profile there. Features ultra low face center CG, so center of gravity. That's my way there. Open hosel construction, high strength carpenter, stainless steel, and sure fit adjustability. Now, let's go further into all those technology bits. So First off, ultra low face centered CG. The most significant change for TSR2 fairways is a dramatic shift in CG to produce our lowest ever for an all steel construction. This smooth creates faster, high, pure ball flight without excessive backspin a typical deep CG club would impart. Now, Titleist, if you've never realised, they don't use carbon in their drivers or their fairway woods. Maybe they will next year, but they haven't. So the whole time they've been producing clubs since, all the way back in the 915s and 917s, and then, your TS range, TSI range, TSR range, there's no carbon in there. It's always a full titanium construction. It's what they've done. They perfected it. They know how to build decent clubs. And that's why I think Titleist is the main driver on tour, I believe. It is. I'm pretty sure it is. It's very, very popular. Moving on, we've got the open hosel construction. So new design. So hosel. New design removes unwanted weight located high and towards the heel, freeing Titleist engineers to make sizable improvements to multiple areas of performance. A simple change that unlocks massive rewards. And again, same with any clubs, whenever you get a new club out, they're always mentioning, oh, we moved weight here to here, we saved weight by doing this, blah, 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 blah. It's all about all about placing, there we go, the weight in the correct positions to get the club to perform how you want it to. Too much weight at the back, the ball's potentially going to balloon up in the air. Too much weight at the front, it's just going to come out low and extremely low spinning. Great for faster swing speed players, but with this club, which is for the masses, don't quite want that. So player tune performance, engineering improvements in the TSR2 fairways produces more than better ball flight. They also help create a more powerful sound and feel. Players get the lively response they're looking for from every strike. So exceptional feature shafts, yes, you get hazardous, tensai. I mean, this is a very impressive shaft that I have in here, the Tensai 1K Black 75 Flex S, so Mitsubishi Chemical. I mean, I think they've matted it. It feels really amazing, to be fair. It's probably the best feeling shaft I've felt, isn't like the actual touching. I will get onto this shaft later, though, because it's not quite right for me, and I'll explain why at the end. As I mentioned, premium shafts can even get upgraded as well. Now, going into the specs with the TSR2, you have it in 15 degrees, 16.5 degrees, 18 degrees, and 21 degrees. That's all in right hand and left hand. If you wanted to get more distance than this, though, there is a TSR2 Plus model. Bigger profile, a little bit like a mini driver, to be fair. Bigger profile, more forgiveness, and that you can get in a 13 degrees and a 14.5 degrees. So really, even though they call this TSR2 Plus, it's probably a separate club, to be fair, because of that. Just going to the characteristics of here. So the head shape, they say modern. Launch, they say high with this club, even though you've got that weight there. You still have some weight at the back. The old TSI 2 range just had a weight port there. Spin is low, not bad, and performance is forgiving over workability. So there you go. Let's talk a little bit more about the hosel, to be fair, because I think Titleist is one of the best at doing this. Now, don't get me wrong, you can't increase the loft or decrease the loft as much as, say, TaylorMade. However, with the TaylorMade club, you increase the loft, you have no option but to change the lie, which affects if the club's going to be more closed or more open. So therefore, if it's going to be more of a draw or more of a fade. But with Titleist, you increase the loft, decrease the loft, but keep the lie the same. That's what I really, really like about Titleist. So, with this here, you can go from your standard lie, you can go all the way up to 1.5 degrees increased loft. So this 15 here can go up to 16.5 degrees, or it can be decreased to 14.25 degrees. But the most important thing about that is the lie stays the same. So you're not closing the face, you're not opening the face. And then you can also change the lie. So you can make it upright by 1.5 degrees, which closes it, makes it more of a draw. Or you can open that face by 0.75 degrees and make it flat, which makes more of a fade, and still increase the loft or decrease the loft. So, for example, I could have it 1.5 degree upright. I could have it 1.5 degree increased loft. So this would be 16.5 degrees closed, therefore helping me to draw the ball more, which for me I don't necessarily need, but for viewers out there, you guys watching, you might want to do. So I really do like that hosel on the Titleist. I always have. I think it's great. So there you go. There's all the technology. Now, let's get down to the range, throw some figures at you, and then come back here for the ACS Golf Scale.
Here I'm down the range with the 3-wood. Now for me, what I want for my 3-wood, I want an average carry over 200 yards and a total distance around that 230 mark. Now, didn't quite get it with this club, so let's go through the averages. So on average, I had a total carry of 190 yards, total distance of 224 yards, ball speed of 138 miles per hour, launch angle 8 degrees, and a height of 42. And that just says everything. You know, that launch angle of only 8 degrees with a 3-wood, for me, you know, it needs to be higher to get the maximum distance out of the club, and it just shows that this shaft really was too stiff for me. However, you know, when I really did catch it right, you know, I got the ball speed up to 143 miles per hour. I got a carry of 199 yards and a total distance of 232 yards. Now, I could get the ball up in the air, like a lot of all these shots you're seeing here, you know, very consistent ball flight, to be honest. But when I could get up in the air, which I did on the end shot, which you're just about to see, you know, did manage it, but just couldn't put the swing on it to really get the right ball speed that I was getting with the others. So definitely, you know, potentially if I change the shaft in this club, I'll be getting good
So there you go, some interesting figures for you. And it highlights the point that I'm about to make right now. Make sure you have the right shaft in the club, because it doesn't matter how good the head is, if you don't have the right shaft, you won't be getting the best performance that it can give you. Because, you know, for myself, I've tried a lot of clubs. I know exactly what shafts work for me and which don't. If you do not, I would advise go and get fitting. You know, in the UK, you can pay £50, go and get fitting. You don't have to buy the club. You can get the right shaft for you and then go and pick it up on the second-hand market or on deals online, etc. To, you know, to really get the best fitting club for you, because this is a low spin, low launching shaft. It's the black tensai. I need the blue. I know the blue works for me because I've used it before. It gives you a mid launch and really helps maximize the distance for me, because this was coming in way too low. And even though it's a stiff as well, because it's a 75, so it's a heavy stiff, it feels like it's a rock. You know, for me, this feels more extra stiff than actually stiff. It really does feel like a rock, which definitely, in my mind, affected the results, the total distance that I could get from this club. So do be aware, always make sure you get the right shaft. I just thought I'd add that in there for you guys because it's so important. But let's get into the ACS Golf Scale now. So remember, we've got 5 categories. We've got distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now, yes, with this beautiful club, you know, the distance was 224 yards on average. That is below my sort of 230 mark that I want from a 3-wood for myself. I'm still giving it 4 out of 5 because of that ball speed. The ball speed on average was 138 miles per hour. Really happy with that. Topped out 143 miles per hour, which is great. And it's just the launch that really suffered with this. You know, 8 degrees launch. You know, if I had this at 11, 12, I really would definitely would have hit that 230 mark on average. I think I would have been maybe a little bit higher over it. So 4 out of 5 for distance for this, because I think the distance is really good. And it shows as well. I mean, if I can get a carry of 199 yards, you know, total distance of 232 yards, so just above that sort of level I want, with a ball speed of 143 miles an hour, the launch angle of 7 degrees, you know, and a height of 43 feet. If I can get that 70 degrees, imagine if that was 8, well, 9, 10 degrees, that would have absolutely flown. So there you go. So yeah, 4 out of 5. I think the distance of this is very good. If you want more distance from your fairway wood from Titleist, the TSR2 isn't necessarily going to give you that because it is more that workability. Potentially to do that, you need to go for the TSR2 Plus, that bigger face, you know, bigger body, but then you might struggle to hit it off the deck just because it is a bigger fairway wood. If you're looking for maximized distance, then I suggest maybe look at the TaylorMades out there, maybe the Callaways as well. You know, Titleist is really good and it's very consistent. but it's never really the longest out there. You know, it's not known for maybe the longest. It's known for producing really fantastic clubs. Now moving on to feel. Feel for me, 5 out of 5. This feels gorgeous out the middle. It feels beautiful, feels powerful. It's just a pleasure to hit. And that's the main thing that we want from golf and from our golf clubs. We want it to be enjoyable. And for me, this club was enjoyable. I really did enjoy hitting it. So 5 out of 5, definitely the best fairway I've felt for a while. Is a better feeling than TSI2. I will talk about that in a second, but beautiful. Really, really enjoyed the feel. 5 out of 5. Looks, you won't be surprised to me saying this, as I've mentioned throughout this video, how good looking I think this club is. 5 out of 5. I mean, I love the bottom of it. I love the shape of it as well. You know, I love the profile. You know, just simple on the top, nice and black, and that TSR logo there, just for that alignment aid. It is a stunning, stunning club for me, and the white lines across it as well. 3 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, not 3 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Beautiful, really happy with it. There is a 3 out of 5 in this, but I will get to that one last. Forgiveness, 4 out of 5. Nice forgiving model, not their most forgiving, don't get me wrong. You know, that is definitely the TSR1 or anything like TS1. If you're looking at older ranges, save yourself some money, TS1, you know, TSI1, etc. That is their most forgiving model. And then when you go up, they tend to become less forgiving. Same with their drivers. But forgiveness for me, 4 out of 5. Very much exactly what they want. You know, didn't have any huge off, you know, drop downs when I hit it poorly. You know, I did hit one where I got the launch right, but definitely didn't hit the middle of the face. Still got 135 miles per hour ball speed, so just below that 138 average. And I had a total distance 224, so which is actually just above the average, which shows you what you can do when you get the launch right. So overall, very happy with the forgiveness. So 4 out of 5. Now on to price. Now whenever I'm looking at new clubs, I always look at sort of the new value of these. And price wise, I'm going to give this actually a 3.5 out of 5. Brand new, because this, even though it's still the older model, is coming in cheaper than everything else brand new at the moment. So the QI10 is £309. The AI Smoke is £319. The G430, which came out roughly the same time as this, is £299. While this comes in the UK at £289 and in the US $299. So it just comes in below those guys. And whenever I say about new clubs and everything like that, the technology really hasn't changed. And believe me, this is still be, even though first released in 2022 and it will be replaced at the end of this year, it's still as good as a QI10, etc. that's been released this year. And I'm not going to lie, this is definitely better looking, I think, than the QI10. So 3.5 out of 5, because it is just that little bit cheaper than the rest of them. You know, if you're looking at AI Smoke, £319, you know, over here in the UK, you could save yourself, well, how much is that? £30. Definitely, you know, £30. What's that? Pack of golf balls. Everything helps. So there you go. So 3.5 out of 5. Second-hand market, a little bit of a different story. You know, if you're looking online, say, you know, the 3-wood, well, actually, it's not that bad still, actually, to be fair. 3-wood on eBay, you look around £174, around $218, around that 180 mark. So again, so around $225. So roughly around there, a few over 200 and a few below that sort of average of sort of 180 and $225. And then your second-hand market, you're looking at around £184 in, say, Golf Bidder, so which is a second-hand store, so around $230, which isn't bad, to be fair, for, you know, a brand new model, but it has been out obviously for a few years. And watch that even more, because when the new model comes out, this will drop price even more. However, there is an elephant in the room with this. Is this a massive improvement from the TSI2? Now, I played the TSI2. I had it in the bag for quite a while. Now, looks wise, yes, I think that looks beautiful. I love the profile of it. On the top, not too much difference. They're both black. They're both this sort of shiny top. It's only really just that labeling there. And, you know, that's when you're looking down at it. So not much difference there. On the bottom, definitely. Feel-wise, this is amazingly, you know, felt great. The TSI2 felt great. Forgiveness, TSI2 had good forgiveness. Distance, TSI2 had good distance. Don't get me wrong, I think this is slightly better, but again, it's slightly better. I mean, minuscule, really. I mean, if you put this in my hands and then put the TSI2 in my hands, put me down the range, blindfolded me so I didn't know which were which, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you the difference really. Even if we looked at the results again, I still wouldn't probably be able to tell you the difference. Fairway woods really haven't evolved that much over the past few years. And a prime example of this is, Peter Finch, who's a big YouTuber, tests all these clubs all the time, was making a bag for someone, did the series, and he put a TS3 in there. Didn't put a TSI3, didn't put a TSR3, which he could have done. He put a TS3 in there because he said at the time, nothing's really changed. He said they look different, well, even slightly different, don't really look different from the top, but slightly different, feel great, same distance. He said nothing's really changed. And that's the issue with this, and that's the issue with all new clubs, to be fair. So, yes, you could get this brand new. Don't get me wrong, you won't be disappointed. It's a fantastic club. But then, you have that elephant in the room where you can go, I'm going to pick up a TSI2 secondhand for £130 at Golf Bidder, so secondhand store. So that is literally about what you're talking, £40, £50. It's cheaper, which is that £130 there is about $160. So again, you're saving yourself sort of $90. Or on eBay, you can pick it up for around £100 mark, so around $135. Well, sorry, $125 at that £100 mark, and then you're saving yourself about £80 there. Really does make you think, you're still going to get premium shaft, you still get exactly the same adjustment, head cover's not too different. Should you be going for this club? And that's a question I'll leave you guys to answer yourself. Now, for me, is this going to go in the bag with this shaft? Nope, definitely not. However, I do have a blue coming. So I do have a Tensei blue coming stiff. I've already ordered it. I'm going to be sticking it in this club, and I'm going to see what the results are then. And then potentially it could be, because believe me, I love the looks. I love the way it feels. I love the distance. Potentially I could get, if I sorted out the launch a bit better. So it could be the club for me. I want it to be the club for me, to be fair. So do check out my Instagram page for that, so ACS Golf, because I will most likely comment on the difference of the blue shaft, see how it's changed it on there in a couple of weeks. If you don't want to do that, then just comment down below in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure I'll have an answer for you about how it has changed this club, well, potentially, hopefully change this club. All right, guys, now I hope you enjoyed this video. Another long one. I do need to work on getting these shorter. Do give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below, have you ever played the TS range? So TS range, TSI range, TSR range. If you played different clubs, so you started off with the TS, then you've gone to TSR. I'd love to know your thoughts about what you think the difference is, if there is any difference. So do comment on that. And then also remember to subscribe to the channel, guys, for weekly ACS golf reviews and other videos as well. All right, I'm sure I'll catch you soon for another long ACS golf review. All right, catch you soon.